Yo, welcome back. This is Stu42 with another frustrated video, to be honest. I'd actually finished recording 2 whole episodes with a bunch of stuff that I'd been doing, only to discover after I'd recorded them that none of the sound had actually worked. So rather than trying to overdub the episodes and try and figure out what the hell I was on about, I just decided to make this episode instead, which is going to be, unfortunately, a sort of a catch-up episode, slash showcase slash, showing you what I did in those other 2 episodes. So, the first episode that you missed out on, unfortunately, is setting up all of this over here. Now, as you can see, I have under there, you'll see there's a little P2P, I don't know if you can see that, a P2P tunnel with this dense cable coming out, and I've got space for 8 from there, 8 from there, 8 out of there, and 8 out of there. And as you can see, this 8 channel is full, and it's into what I'm going to call a sort of processing pod. So I've got room to put another 3 of these pods, and basically this consists of a full set of processing. So we've got our macerator here, export bus. I'm going to put silver in the middle, but I'm waiting for a piece of silver ore to come in so that I can program it properly. Both sorts of aluminium are there. Nickel. This is basically all the vanilla kind of ores, or all the standard. What would you call them? Ores that aren't mixed, I guess. So only iron, like pure iron, pure copper, pure tin. Lead, gold, nickel, aluminium, and of course silver will go in the middle there. So once we go through that, these are all set to output to these interfaces. That outputs to there, this outputs to there, and then over this side we have our washing plant and our centrifuge. So again, you'll see I have managed to get some crushed silver ore, which is good. Aluminium, of course, is only one sort, because after you crush it the first time, or macerate the first time, you get a single sort of ore. From there, from being washed, it goes over to the back, which again gives you the purified stuff, and then from there into the centrifuge to centrifuge, and then into here to smelt. Now, of course, we're missing the aluminium from here because that needs to go into the blast furnace, but I'm doing that manually at the moment. So that was one of the episodes, figuring out how to do all that, keep it nice and compact. I think the other one of these I'll put in will be sort of a mirror image, just so that I can take advantage of the water here. This kind of kept the water out of the way. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this one turned out, actually. I get myself an access terminal here, and plus I get room to do sort of 4 of these processing units. As you can see, I moved my processing over to here for the nitro diesel. I've also added this pipe and put 2 distilleries in, so that works a little bit faster now. I've also squashed it up a little bit. I've had to put this plate in here to stop these 2 from mixing, but now we don't have a pipe between the chemical reactor and this fluid canner. That's for the glycerol. I haven't got any nitrogen at the moment, so that's kind of stopped, but I have a ton of nitro diesel. I'm up to like 7 million nitro diesel in the tank. And the other episode that I did, so this is going to be a really fast catch up. The other episode that I did was a similar sort of thing. I've got another P2P tunnel there. I have, what do we got? 1, 2, 3 dense cables, and then again, room for 8 off there, 8 off there, 8 off there, and 8 off there to make up those channels. Over here, you'll see we've got our molecular assembler with a bunch of patterns. If I hold shift on that, so we've got a few patterns in here, making different wires and things. This one here just has pistons and wood planks at the moment. I'm going to scale this out, so I need to put another assembler and another assembler and another assembler. Probably, yeah, I could probably do 4 of them, to be honest. 4 of them with a couple of interfaces each. I like being able to see through these things when they're crafting, so I don't like, I can put interface all the way around the same assembler, but it's at the end of the day, the channels only get used up with the interfaces. They don't get used up with the actual assembler itself. So you can sort of put as many assemblers as you want, as long as you got the materials, and then who knows, I may actually put 8 of these things here with the interfaces on top, just because I really like to be able to see the stuff being crafted. The other one over here is I finally have some automatic so not automatic, but more on-demand processing of stuff. So I have a wire mill and a bending machine so far. We also have a turbo diesel generator, so 512 EU. I decided to go for the big one. We've got 2 batteries in here that are full. This isn't going to get used a whole lot, so I figured, 2 batteries is probably fine for this. We will build out a couple more machines here, but to be honest, I may have to put another battery or 2 in here, but we're not. It's not like the processing over there where we're going to have tons of ore coming in eventually. It's literally, I've got an interface on top that has a couple of patterns. So at the moment, copper, tin, and gold is all I've put in there, and the bender has steel, aluminium, stainless steel, gold, and silicon. I need to put iron in there, so I'll create an iron pattern. I did try to put the patterns straight into the interface and have it push items sideways into this. That didn't work. I spent a bit of time trying to figure it out, and eventually it turns out you just need to have another interface on top. And as you can see, I've crafted these interfaces to make them the flat version, because I think it looks a bit nicer than having the full blown interface on top. In fact, I might actually do that with these ones as well. Maybe later. So that's that. What else did I mention in the videos? Oh yes, so also with the crafting, we need to have these. So we need to have crafting storage, and I've put a coprocessor in as well. I think I'm going to need to have another crafting storage to use the coprocessor. I'm not quite sure how that works. Maybe it speeds up crafting, I'm not sure. I thought it let you do extra crafting jobs, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So I'll need to do some research into that. So you need those for crafting. And the other really interesting thing that I found is I needed to put a 4th engine in here because this thing tops out at, I've got full steam now, but it tops out at about 110 EU per tick. So even though the 4 engines can go to 128, 110 seems to be all that I can cope with. And now that I've added all that extra processing, as you can see, we're at 105 EU per tick. And that's without my crystal growth accelerator running. So if I put that growth accelerator on, it's another 4 EU per tick, which takes me, dangerously close to my limit. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do for power. That'll be my next episode. The next episode will be probably putting some power in behind here. I'm actually thinking I'll run some charcoal back out of here and maybe into some industrial craft. Yes, I know we're going to have to go back to industrial craft generators, but the math seems to work out on using a bunch of those instead of the boiler. Seeing as this is only running this now, what we'll do is I'll leave it for next episode anyway. I think you see where I'm going with that one. So yeah, that's about it for this very quick catch-up episode. We've set the groundwork for a bunch of stuff. I can now go ahead next video. I'm not sure if I'll have made more of these pods or not by then. Probably more stuff over here and more automatic crafting, because to be honest, making the pods, I don't know about you guys, but if you're using Greg Tech and you are making stuff like, he's got just so much stuff. I mean, I'm a big fan of Greg Tech, but he does go a bit crazy with some of the stuff. Yeah, this stuff here. So you want to make an electric pump, making all this fiddly stuff, making electric motors over and over again, making these, it's just pretty tedious. So I can at least make the wire automatic. I should probably do a lathe. Be a good thing to automatically make next. Combining tiny dusts would be a good thing to try and figure out, actually. All good ideas for upcoming episodes anyway. Also, just finally, before I leave, just a quick shout out to Cat Battery. Had a couple of messages with them online. I'm not sure, they commented on one of my videos, but for some reason I couldn't reply to the comments. So it seems that some people I can reply to and some people I can't. I'm not quite sure what that's about with YouTube, but anyway, just a quick hi to them, because they gave me some kind words, which helps keep me motivated to make these videos in the first place. So yeah, that's about it really for this quick catch-up episode. As always, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you all next time.